Hello young developers and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this second video we will discuss about JavaScript and we will learn the language basics to get ready for the React Native webinar that we will hold this Sunday. So what is JavaScript? JavaScript is a programming language and believe it or not, it's right now the most used programming language in the world. It was initially created for webs, and right now you can find it in more than 99% of the websites that are available on the internet. The other 1% don't use JavaScript and don't use any other language at all. And JavaScript is first of all a first-class functions programming language. What does that mean? Functions are treated like variables. You can store functions in variables, you can call the functions from another functions. JavaScript it's also dynamically typed. We don't specify variable types, we can just put const and the variable name. We don't need to mention if it's an integer, a string, a float, etc. It is also object oriented. It uses objects to solve complex problems. And it's also a functional programming language. It's based on functions, so it will use functions mainly to solve complex problems. A very common mistake is to compare JavaScript with Java. They are not the same, they are completely different programming languages. And as I said before, JavaScript was first invented for the web. The thing is, they took JavaScript and now it's used in absolutely anything. With JavaScript right now, you can create desktop programs by using Electron.js framework. You can create 3D computing graphics or even games on the web by using 3JS framework. You can create robots and work in backend with Node. And lastly, you can create complete native mobile applications by using React Native, what we will learn this weekend. And to be honest, I think this is already too much theory, so we can just start doing the practice. The first thing we will need to do, in case you didn't follow the last video, is to install Node. What we'll do Node is take the JavaScript programming language that it was created initially for the web and works on the web only, and bring it to your desktop PC. And now let's create our first JavaScript file. For that, we will go to an IDE or text editor. In my case, I will use the Visual Studio Code, and here you can have a sneak peek of some JavaScript code. But for now, we will create a new file. I will call it, for example, new.js. We hit enter, and we have the file right here. Now, let's start with variables. How are variables created in JavaScript? We have 3 keywords. As I mentioned before, we don't need to specifically type the variables, so we don't need to write int or string or something like that. We can just write one of these. We have let, var, and const. These are the keywords to create variables. So how does it work? How are they different one from each other? First of all, var and the name, let's say for example, equals 3, I don't know, anything. Var keyword will create a variable that will be globally accessible. What does that mean? You have here this variable, you can put it in a function, you can access this variable from absolutely anywhere, you can access it between functions. Right now it's not used anymore because it's not a good practice to use var, since it can mess up your code. You can create 2 variables using the name, the same name, and it can just interfere between them. And we use let and const. The first big difference, and probably the most important one, is that let lets you declare the variable without initializing it. What does that mean? We can just hit here let name and not assign it a value like equals 3. Okay, we can just write let name and then put name equals 4, for example. Const doesn't let you do that. If you try to hit here const and then name, it will give you an error because it tells you here declaration must be initialized. The second big difference is that let will not throw an error if you try to reassign its value. So for example, if you put let number equals 5 and then we put number equals 7, for example, there is no problem, the value will be 7. If you put console.log and we will put number, okay, this is how we output information. And then we put again console.log number, and then we run this code, it will show 5 and then 7. The difference is that with const, it will throw you an error. So if you put instead of let, we put const, it will throw an error. Now let's check it. How do we execute code? Well, first of all, we will need a terminal. In this case, with Ctrl J, you can open the terminal in Visual Studio Code. The second option will be to use command line tool, okay, the CMD that we used before. And to execute code, we will need to go to the folder where we are working, where we have the file that we want to run. In this case, it's right here. We will click right here to copy the directory, then we go to CMD, we write CD and then we paste, enter, and now we are located in the folder with the files that we are working with. And then we will write node and the name of the file. In this case we are doing it in new, so we hit enter, and as you can see, it will throw an error. This is in case you want to run your code in CMD, but me personally, I will do it in VS Code. And here in Visual Studio Code terminal, we will write as well node new, and if we hit enter, we can see that we have an error, and it says type error assignment to constant variable. Now, if we, instead of const, we put let, and then we reassign the value, we can run without problems. As you can see, it will go from 5 to 7. It's also worth mentioning the fact that you should use const whenever you can. It's a really good practice because it will make your code more predictable and less prone to bugs. And now, it's true that we don't need to specifically tell the program what type of variable we have, but that doesn't mean that we don't have types in JavaScript. We actually do, and to check them, we can use the type of operator. We write type of inside the console log, and then we will put number. And we, if we Control S to save the file and then we execute it by writing node new, it will return us number. And now let's say we have const my name. We put here Jakob. This is my name. And instead of number, we will put right here my name, the name of the variable. And we hit Control S. We execute the code. We will see that it will tell and return us string. And I think that's it with variables. To be honest, there is nothing else worth mentioning right now because we are just seeing the basics of the programming language, so we can be as ready as possible for the React Native webinar. Now let's see how we can output and concatenate strings. So let's say I have const my name equals Jakob, and we also have const my age equals 18. First of all, we can go to console log, and then we will type right here my name is, for example, plus, and then right here I put my name, okay, and this will return the value of the variable. Then we put plus space, and now I put one space because it will be my name is space my name. Then we need to put another space, and I am, and now we put space plus my age, and lastly years old. Then we Control save, and if we execute the code, we will see right here my name is Jakob and I am 18 years old. And now let's check the second way of outputting this. We will write back quotes, so they are not quotes, normal quotes like these ones or like these ones right here. These are back quotes. So after we put here back quotes, we will write anything we want. In this case, my name is, and now if we want to output the variable value, we will put shift and 4 needs to be for the $sign, and after that we will open brackets, and inside you will see this will change color. Inside we will put my name, and this will output the value of the variable. And then I will go with my name is Jakob and I am, and we will do exactly the same for the age. My age years old, and then we Control S, and we will put here node new, and it will output exactly the same. Well, I didn't put right now the 2 points, but it's the same thing. And now I want to show you JavaScript arrays. Create a const, a variable, we will call it knowledge equals, and now to declare an array we will use these squared brackets, okay, and instead of it we will put data. We can put absolutely anything. We can combine type of data, we can put numbers and strings, there is no problem. In this case I will put the next, I will put JavaScript, of course, and I will also put React, I will also Node, etc. So this is a string right here, okay, and now we can put in our string literal comma, and well, no, let's say I love, and we will put knowledge, and to access some data from the array, in this case it will start from 0, like in every programming language. We want to access this first one, so we'll put knowledge, we use square brackets and 0, and don't forget to put this inside of the string literal variable. So right now we are accessing the first element of knowledge. If we save and then we execute the code, we will see my name is Jakob, I'm 18 years old, and I love JavaScript. And let's say instead of const, we declared it as let. And now if we put right here knowledge 0 equals, and for example Python, we will be changing this value, okay. I think I have an misinput here, knowledge, okay. And now if we execute the code, we will see that the new value is Python, okay. So we can just simply do this. It's very easy. If it was const, it wouldn't let us because we are reassigning the value. But if we have let, we can just change it like this. It's so easy. Because right now we have only one person, but maybe we have 1,000, 2,000, etc. persons. So we want to for each person to have all the data grouped in a single object. So to create an object in JavaScript is so easy, it's just crazy. We can write right here const person1, for example, equals, and we open brackets, okay, we hit enter, and now we have my name, 2 points, okay, so in an object instead of equals it's 2 points, and then the value, in this case Jacob. Then we will put right here comma to separate this data from the next one, and we will put my age, 2 points, and my age in this case 18, and then I also want to store the knowledge, so for that again we will put comma knowledge, 2 points, and then we can do exactly the same, so we put this information right here. Okay, and then Control S, I will just delete everything. We Control S to save the file, and right now if we run the code, it will give us an error because these ones right here doesn't exist right now. To access it, we can write person1 point my name, and this will misinput again, okay, and he's accessing the person1 object, and it will return my name. Okay, so we need to do exactly this for each one. And now if we execute the code again, it will be good. And this was everything for the first video. I will not make this any longer, so let's just get the next one.